What's up, my armored sharks? Today I will be uploading my very first video, which is a fanfic of Hunter x Hunter, and it is called Tell Me by Rig It on Riggs on Wattpad. Note, I would like for you guys to send me some requests, but I will only be doing fanfics on my channel. Saying that, let's get into the video. Also, I'm still in school, so I might not post daily videos, and sorry if I stutter a lot. This is my first video after all. And I will also not say text from Killua because it made my video longer than I expected it to. You threw your head down on the table. Summer vacation had just begun, and you had no plans whatsoever. A groan escaped from your mouth as Koo entered the room, and your cousin gave you an amused look before sitting down at the kitchen table across from you. Why don't you hang out with your boyfriend for the summer? Koo set his teacup down on the table as he began the conversation. He is not my boyfriend. You eyed your phone on the table before crossing your arms to prove your point to Koo. However, your cousin laughed and reached across the table to grab your phone just as the text came in. All you could do was watch as Koo studied the text with a cheeky grin. Not your boyfriend, huh? He slid the phone back across the table. You grabbed the phone as soon as it came into your reach and read the text. From Killua. You're on summer vacation, right? A sound of delight mixed with relief escaped you before you could even think. Immediately, you regretted opening the text in front of Koo as he was laughing really loudly. Not your boyfriend? Koo pointed a finger across the table, referring to the X at the end of the message. You furiously snapped your phone away and headed for the stairs. That's right. Koo's laughter of delight echoed all around the house until you slammed your bedroom door, shutting it out. With a sigh, you flopped down on your double bed. It had been 6 years since your parents had become zodiacs. Without a care in the world, they had left you in Koo's older brother's care. At the time, you were 10. Koo was 12, and his brother Tenzin was 17. 2 years ago, Tenzin had also left to become a hunter at the age of 21. It was family tradition to become part of the Hunters Association between the ages of 17 and 21. Frankly, you didn't care, but the Hunters did have a lot of perks. So ever since you had come to live with Koo, you had been learning mixed martial arts. It was professional, and trophies, medals, and framed photos decorated the house. All right. Killua texted me. You flipped over to lie on your belly. Killua and you had met 8 months ago. He had saved you from Ren, and things seemed like a blur since then. He was also a hunter just like your family, which made you feel like everyone that was a hunter would just leave you. Texting to Killua. Yep, today was my last day. Why? You admit it took a lot of intense thinking before you added that X. Almost as soon as you had sent the message, you got a reply from Killua. Great, the trio and I are in the next town over, up for the return of movie Fridays. With a blushing face, you shoved your head in the nearest pillow. When you had met Killua, he was staying in town with some of his friends. They were there over the winter break, and the five of you made a bunch of memories together. Although you always felt closer to Killua, the group was easily your closest friends. It was weird having them leave after winter break and you having to go back to school and get excuses to your school friends. And to be honest, you had thought the group forgot about you. The only one that kept up consistent contact had been Killua with the other three texting you once in a while. But before the past 3 weeks, you hadn't got a text off of any of them, which worried you. It was like Killua had disappeared off the face of the earth, and he's back again. You know it. To Killua. From Killua. Usual time and place. Nudie Pics movie. to Killua. I'm only the newbie because you guys won't let me go on adventures with you. From Killua. Nah, whatever, newbie. You pouted and threw your phone down on the bed. Summer wouldn't be so boring after all. Standing up, you glanced around your room. Apart from a brimming bookshelf, a desk, various MMA trophies and such, there wasn't much decoration. Your school uniform was thrown all over the place, and you tugged at the uniform you were wearing currently. All the uniforms would be stuffed in the back of your wardrobe until school started again. But right now, you needed your wardrobe for something else. "Coo!" you shouted and flung your door open. The sound of the kitchen door opened was followed by footsteps running up the stairs before Coo appeared. "I'm in the same house as you. What do you want?" Coo scratched his head and walked to your door. He opened the bedroom door. You opened the bedroom door wider to let him in. "Movie. Friday. Pick whatever you want, but not a skirt." That's how you ended up outside your cinema in an outfit Coo picked 2 hours later. Denim shorts, an open red flannel shirt, and a gray tank top was what he had picked. According to Coo, it was illegal to go to the movies with your boyfriend in sweats. While you beg to differ, it wasn't bad to dress nicely for a group outing. Like you had been told, you could pick the movie. After eyeing the listings while you waited, you decided to pick a Marvel movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. It was promising, like all Marvel movies. "Gone." "Why in?" Loud footsteps and an overjoyed voice snapped you out of your thoughts. You turned to see Gone Fricks. "One of your best friends." He wore jeans and tee, with his hair tied back down, and a beanie. His head was waving proudly in the air as he ran towards you. With a grin, you ran towards him. "Why in, John?" Gon smiled and wrapped his arms around you. When you got close enough, the smile on your face began to ache. "Leave some hugs for us." "Jeez." You lifted your head to see Leroy and Kurapika. Both were grinning, and a 4-way group hug was formed. Nostalgia, or whatever that word is, was in the air as the 4 of you entangled your arms around each other. "Can we hurry this up? I don't want to miss the movie," the newbie picked. You lifted your head as the hug loosened, and Killua was standing not too far away. He wore jeans and a white t-shirt with an open green flannel. His silver hair was as fluffy as ever, and his sharp blue eyes were focused on you. "Killua," you smiled, and the group hug ended. The corner of his lips twitched into a smile. "Yo." When the group was buying their snacks and drinks, you figured out where everyone was sitting. The feeling of disappointment was overpowering. Killua hadn't hugged you like the others had. "That shouldn't matter, though. Finally ready?" you asked as the 4 boys walked over to join you. They all had stacks of candy, popcorn, and snacks piled up in their hands, except for Kurapika. He only had a medium popcorn and drink, like you. You announced you would be sitting beside Kurapika before entering the movie theater. 8 seats at the very back were open, and you waited until everyone had sat down until you settled. On one end, 2 seats were free beside Killua, while on the other there were 2 seats beside Kurapika. You chose the latter to avoid being covered in candy and whatnot. Also, Kurapika was guaranteed to be quiet during the movie, unlike Gon and Leroy. The movie started and continued with fits of laughter from you all. Gon particularly squealed in laughter and kicked the seat in front of him whenever the character Groot did something. When it was resulted in Leroy spilling his soda on Killua's lap, Silverette lost his appetite and got up to sit beside you. You snickered along with Kurapika as the pouting boy folded his arms and slumped down in the seat beside you. "I don't see what's funny. They ruined it for me." Killua refused to look at you or at the screen. His head was turned to the left. With a small giggle and a nudge from Kripika, you grip the edge of your seat to peer around and try to see his face. It's the poor chocolate set. You grinned as his features sharpened, a sign he was keeping in his laughter. All it took was a poke to the cheek and Killua chuckled, clutched his stomach as he laughed, his voice echoing off the walls loudly. Gon and Leroy were speechless, glaring at their friend. Needless to say, the whole cinema had turned around to give him death stares. Kripika was even still stifling laughter, but froze up all of a sudden as a shadow came over both you and Killua. Sorry I poked your cheek. Sorry I got us kicked out of the cinema. You and Killua giggled quietly under the night sky. The two of you were sitting on a bench in the plaza outside the cinema. The movie still had 30 minutes to go, and Killua was slumped down with his hands in his pockets. A shiver ran through your body randomly. It happened once in a while. Cold? Killua's eyes lifted. You shook your head along with your shoulders. Nope, just gotta chill. Is this the plaza where we met? Killua sat up straight, his head leaning against the back of the bench so he could gaze at the stars. You betcha. You stared at your feet, tapping the top of your shoes together. I'm glad Ren exists. Killua blinked slowly when he said that, and his fingers curled underneath the shadow of his pockets. Was it the wrong thing to say? Persistent little crap. A grin was on your face, and you glanced at Killua. He pulled his head forward to look at you, with the corner of his lip twitched up. A moment passed before a word was spoken again. You were in a skirt, he teased with a snicker. He seemed cat-like, deviousness shining in his eyes. You talked to Hisoka. You flashed an evil grin, and Killua's smile dropped. He furrowed his brows and looked away. Shut it, miniskirt. Killua had told Hisoka to back off that day, and apparently Hisoka said something among the lines of cheating on Gon with you. It didn't affect what happened after, of course. He still saved you from Rim. What happened when you went back to school? Killua turned to face you, propping a leg up on his knee while placing his elbow on the back of the bench. You had to think for a moment. Ren's friends were always whispering, and he hasn't talked to me since. The last words he said to me were, "Prove it, lame." It was true. After Killua had kissed you to fool Ren into thinking you were dating, he legged it after a few seconds. He had been missing from school for a few days too, like he was heartbroken. Minutes later, the trio emerged from the cinema to see the both of you engrossed in an intense game of I Spy. They didn't even want to question anything, due to the murderous aura coming from Killua. You cheated! Killua pointed an accusing finger in your direction. You laughed before raising an eyebrow. I didn't cheat. You're just not good at this game. Baka. You grinned and pushed his hand away from with a smug look. Killua would have had steam coming out of his ears in rage if he wasn't interrupted by the trio's laughter. Half an hour later, the five of you were all sitting around your kitchen table. It was a Friday tradition to go to yours for pizza after a movie. Ku usually made the pizza and sat down to talk. Instead, everyone was silent, enjoying the food at hand. It was always a good sign if the dinner table was silent anyway. I miss Pizza Friday so much. You sighed in content and leaned back. A murmur of agreement was passed around the table. Ku smiled before gathering the plates. For once, Kurapika didn't offer to help. Something was up. All of the four males were sitting up sternly, as if at a battle planning. You looked from one face to the other. Killua was the only one looking back. Name? You're on summer, and we really liked spending winter break with you. Kurapika was the first to speak. Of course. And we would have brought you with us if it wasn't for school, Gon piped up. Wait a second. You want to see the world with us? Do you want to see the world with us? Killua chimed in, sticking his head into view. Everyone at the table seemed to lean in, Killua even turning from the sink. Leroy was the first to get impatient. Geez, if you don't want to go, then just say so already. Leroy! Kurapika snapped before they all turned to look at you. You were smiling widely. After curling your hands into fists on your lap, you nodded. Hi! That's all for today. Bye, guys.